As the crisp Chicago autumn breeze swept golden leaves across the suburban streets, Elizabeth Collins trudged home from her shift at the real estate agency. Exhaustion etched faint lines around her eyes, yet the thought of her daughter waiting inside quickened her pace. When she pushed open the door of their modest two-story home, the comforting clatter of pots and the aroma of garlic told her Michael was already cooking. A financial advisor by profession, he usually beat her home and gladly took on dinner duties. "Welcome back, Liz," he called, flashing the easy smile that had first won her over. "Rough one today?" "A bit." "Where's Emma?" "Upstairs working on homework. She stayed late at school, said she was studying with friends at the library." Elizabeth climbed the stairs and tapped softly on her daughter's door. "Emma, honey, I'm home." "Hi, Mom," came the quiet reply. 12-year-old Emma swiveled in her desk chair, her face pale and drawn. Since starting 7th grade, Elizabeth had noticed her little girl retreating behind a curtain of silence and fatigue. She told herself it was simply the turbulence of growing up. 3 years earlier, Elizabeth's world had shattered when her first husband, David, died in a highway pileup. Overnight, she became a widowed single mother to a heartbroken 9-year-old. The real estate job paid the bills, but some nights the loneliness and responsibility nearly crushed her. That was when Michael entered their lives, first as a friendly colleague at a training seminar, then as someone who listened without judgment and who genuinely seemed to care about Emma too. Friendship deepened into love. 2 springs ago they married, and Michael stepped earnestly into the role of stepfather, attending every parent-teacher night and soccer game. At first, Emma had seemed cautiously happy. Lately, though, the warmth had drained from the house. Emma barely spoke to Michael at dinner, answered in monosyllables, and her grades were slipping. "Teen years are brutal," Elizabeth murmured one night, curled against Michael in their bedroom. "I feel her pulling away from both of us." Michael brushed a strand of hair from her forehead. "You went through it once yourself. She just needs space and time. We'll meet her where she is." His calm reassurance usually soothed her, yet a small knot of unease refused to loosen. One Saturday morning over pancakes, Emma pressed a hand to the base of her skull. "My neck really hurts." Elizabeth frowned. "Like a stiff neck?" "It throbs," Emma said softly, rolling her shoulders. "You probably slept funny," Michael offered. "Let's keep an eye on it. Doctor if it doesn't ease up." 2 weeks later, the changes in Emma were impossible to ignore. The bright, chatty girl who once burst through the door recounting every detail of her day now slipped silently upstairs and shut herself away. Textbooks lay untouched while she stared at the ceiling. When Elizabeth asked gentle questions, Emma's answers grew smaller, her eyes ringed with exhaustion no 12-year-old should carry. One night Michael reported, "I checked on her earlier. Told her middle school is an adjustment for everyone." She was guarded at first, but she managed a little smile before I left. Elizabeth nodded, yet the knot in her chest tightened. The following Monday, while Elizabeth was buried in contracts at the office, her phone buzzed with the middle school number. "Mrs. Collins? This is Mr. Johnson, Emma's homeroom teacher. I'm afraid Emma has been dozing off in class almost daily. Sometimes we have to call her name several times before she wakes. Her grades are sliding too. Has anything changed at home?" Elizabeth left work early, heart hammering. She searched Emma's room and found no evidence of late-night phone use, only a tiny flashlight tucked beside the pillow, as though her daughter had been afraid of the dark. That evening she confronted Emma gently. "Your teacher called. He's worried you're falling asleep in class." Emma's whole body went rigid. "I'm just tired. Is something keeping you awake?" "I'm fine, Mom." "Really?" Saturday they visited their pediatrician, Dr. Wilson. After a thorough exam, he found nothing physically wrong. "Neck pain can come from tension," he said. "Any new stresses? School? Family changes?" Elizabeth hesitated. "I remarried 2 years ago, but things have been stable." "Kids feel shifts more deeply than we realize," the doctor replied. "Stress can show up in the body." In the car, Emma stared out the window. "Everyone thinks we're this perfect little family now," she whispered. "But it doesn't feel perfect anymore." Elizabeth pulled over and gathered her daughter close as Emma finally cried. That night Michael looked stricken. "If I've been too busy with work and haven't connected with her enough, I'm sorry." His willingness to take blame only deepened Elizabeth's love for him. Yet the question still gnawed. Why was Emma shrinking from him specifically? The following week the neck pain flared again, worse than ever. Emma could barely turn her head to rinse shampoo. Her once waist-length hair now seemed to weigh her down. "Let's get it cut short," Elizabeth suggested. "Jennifer can make it light and easy." Emma's eyes filled with sudden urgency. "Really short, Mom. Please." Saturday morning, they drove downtown to Rose Salon. Jennifer Rose, Elizabeth's friend since college, greeted them warmly. "Look at this gorgeous hair. Though if your neck hurts, we'll take the weight off, sweetheart." "How short are we talking?" "As short as possible," Emma said, voice trembling. Jennifer's skilled fingers moved through the shampoo, chatting lightly, but Emma's answers stayed clipped. When Jennifer lifted the wet hair to section it for cutting, her scissors froze. Beneath the hairline, hidden from casual view, lay a constellation of bruises in different stages of healing. Fresh purple, fading green-yellow, and thin red scratches that could only have come from fingernails. Jennifer's face went white. She called Elizabeth over in a voice that shook. Elizabeth looked in the mirror and felt the world tilt. Finger-shaped marks ringed the delicate nape of her daughter's neck. "Emma," she whispered, kneeling. "Who did this?" Tears poured down Emma's cheeks. "Please don't make me say." "I promised. If I tell, he'll hurt you too." Jennifer quietly locked the salon door and flipped the sign to closed. In the sudden stillness, Emma broke. Between sobs, the story spilled out. "Michael. 6 months ago, the gentle mask had slipped. First came the cruel words whispered when Elizabeth was at late listings. 'Your mother cares more about her job than us. You're in the way. If you weren't here, we could be happy.' Then, on nights Elizabeth worked late, he began creeping into Emma's room at 2 or 3 in the morning, hands closing around her throat just hard enough to terrify, voice low and venomous. 'If you ever tell her, I'll do this to your mother next. And it will be your fault.' Emma had scratched and bruised her own neck in desperate attempts to hide his fingerprints beneath self-inflicted marks, praying no one would notice the truth. Elizabeth stood, shaking with a rage so cold it steadied her. "Jennifer, closest police station? 3 blocks." They walked through the bright autumn afternoon, Emma clutching her mother's hand as though it were the only solid thing left in the world. At the station, Detective Sarah Hartman, a calm-eyed specialist in child abuse, took them to a quiet room. She spoke with Emma alone first, then returned to Elizabeth. "It's abuse, no question," Sarah said gently. "But there's more." Emma secretly recorded several nights on a tiny voice recorder she hid under her bed. "We have his threats on tape, clear as day. He has a history, Elizabeth. His ex-wife came forward today. She endured years of the same psychological control. By nightfall, Michael was in custody. The gentle mask was gone. Confronted with Emma's recordings, he confessed. That night, mother and daughter shared a hotel room near the station. Elizabeth held Emma until the shaking stopped. "I'm sorry I didn't see," she whispered. Emma's face, for the first time in months, softened into something like peace. "I just wanted to protect you, Mom." The next morning, sunlight poured through the curtains. Whatever came next, court dates and therapy and rebuilding, they would face together. The bruises would heal, the nightmares would fade, and the autumn wind outside carried not just falling leaves but the promise of a new season, one where no one would ever again silence her daughter's voice.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a twist. Stay tuned to Reddit Tales Times for your daily dose of drama, laughs, and unbelievable stories.